For 1 week in March 2020, there was a riskless profit sitting in plain sight. You could borrow dollars the ordinary way, or you could borrow the exact same dollars through the currency swap market, and the swap route cost about 144 basis points more. A textbook says that gap cannot exist. Arbitrage should erase it in seconds. It didn't. It stayed open for days. That gap has a name, the cross-currency basis, and when it yawns wide, is one of the clearest warnings that the world has run short of dollars. Why should you care about a swaps desk technicality? Because this is how the world funds its dollars. A Japanese life insurer buys United States corporate bonds. A European bank lends in dollars. An Asian pension fund holds treasuries. None of them earn dollars at home, so they can't hold that exposure raw. They borrow dollars short-term and roll it, using foreign exchange swaps. That market is astonishingly large. Foreign exchange swaps and forwards outstanding were near $86 trillion, with the dollar on one side of about 89% of all contracts. Most of it matures in under a year, much of it in a single week. So every week, trillions of dollars of funding has to be rolled over. The price of rolling it is the basis. When that price is calm, nobody notices. When it isn't, the funding engine of the entire dollar system starts to grind. To see why the price moves, start with the rule it breaks. It's called covered interest parity. The idea is simple. If you swap your currency into dollars today and lock in the rate to swap back later, you should end up with exactly what you'd have earned holding dollars directly. Any difference, and a bank swoops in, borrows on the cheap side, lends on the rich side, and pockets the gap until it closes. Economists called this the closest thing to a physical law in international finance, and for decades it held, almost to the basis point. Then came 2007. As the financial crisis began, the law cracked. A gap opened between the swap implied cost of dollars and the direct cost. And unlike a normal arbitrage, it did not snap shut. It has been with us in calm and in storm ever since. So the real question is, why did the banks stop closing it? Here's the machine, one block at a time. Block 1. The trade that should close the gap. When dollars are expensive in the swap market, a bank can borrow dollars directly, lend them out through the swap, and lock in the difference. Riskless, in theory. Do it at size, and the gap vanishes. So why doesn't it? Block 2. Balance sheets stopped being free. After 2008, regulators tied a bank's total size to its capital through something called the leverage ratio. Now every trade, even a riskless one, takes up balance sheet space, and balance sheet space costs equity. So an arbitrage that yields 20 basis points isn't worth doing if parking it on the balance sheet costs more than that. The free profit sits there, uncollected, because collecting it is no longer free. Block 3. The calendar makes it worse. Many banks report their leverage ratio only on the last day of each quarter. So near quarter end, they shrink their dollar books to flatter that one snapshot. The supply of swapped dollars drops, and the basis lurches wider, like clockwork, every 3 months. Block 4. Who's pushing on the other side? The demand never stops. Asia's life insurers alone hold something like $1.5 to $2 trillion of foreign bonds. Rolling the hedges on a book that size means rolling hundreds of billions of dollars of swaps every single month. Relentless demand for dollars, meeting a supply that is now rationed by balance sheet costs. That imbalance is the basis. It is not a market failure. It is the price of a constraint. This isn't abstract. Twice in 15 years, the basis became the crisis. After Lehman Brothers failed in September 2008, the 3-month euro-dollar basis blew out to roughly 200 basis points. Banks outside the United States that had funded huge dollar books suddenly could not roll them at any sane price. Then March 2020, as the pandemic hit, everyone ran for dollars at once. The 3-month basis widened to about 144 basis points for the Japanese yen, 85 for the euro, over 100 for the Swiss franc. The funding market for the world's reserve currency was seizing up. Both times, the same institution ended it. The Federal Reserve. It reopened its dollar swap lines with the other major central banks, lending dollars abroad so foreign banks could pass them on. Drawing surged from near zero to about $449 billion by late May 2020, and the basis collapsed back toward normal within days. The lender of last resort for the world, it turns out, is a dollar lender. So what do you do with this? You read it. The cross-currency basis is one of the few prices that tells you, in real time, how badly the world wants dollars it cannot get. When it sits near zero, dollar funding is easy. When it lurches deeply negative, away from the quarter-end noise, someone, somewhere, is scrambling. It moved before the headlines in 2008, and again in 2020. And notice what changed permanently. In 2013, The Fed turned its emergency swap lines with 5 other major central banks into standing arrangements. An open-ended dollar backstop, always on. The gap the textbook says can't exist has become a permanent feature of the system, and the tool to fight it, a permanent institution. That is a lens, not a signal. It won't tell you what happens next, but when the basis starts to yawn, it is telling you where the stress is building. More breakdowns of the machinery under the market on this channel.